In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA bets for Wednesday, March 5th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring the winning ingredients for our Wednesday, March 5th NBA slate we got going on. But before we dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetShefD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about that Patreon right now with the homepage of the YouTube channel currently at 9.44 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10K, and we're well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you're already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we can grow to a much broader audience. All right, speaking of that Patreon, we had a phenomenal Monday here. Went 5 out of 6 last night. We were red hot on the plays. Some of those plays that were yesterday: Trailblazers +2, Warriors covered that -9.5, Pistons -9.5. Mavs was the only one that was wrong. We had the Rockets that covered, and in college basketball, McNeese State by 9.5 and UCLA money line. So if you want more winning plays and join the community that we're building right now, click on that link provided down below in the description section. You're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes up 24/7. I'm so excited to announce I have partnered with BetStamp and SIGNUP experts to provide you guys with an easier way to sign up with any sportsbook in your area. If you go to the link in the description down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you could take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. First game up here in TD Garden. Here we have the Boston Celtics 43-18 going against the Portland Trailblazers 28-34. Looking at the current odds for this game here, Boston Celtics at home are big favorites, -550 on the money line with the comeback of Portland at a +380. Point spread at 10.5. Looking at the total is at 225.5. Injury report here for these two teams. If we're going with the Portland Trailblazers here, Matisse Thybulle's out, Robert Williams is out, Jeremy Grant is a game-time decision, DeAndre Ayton is out, Justin Minaya is out as well. All right, Boston Celtics, they've got a lot of people questionable here. Derek White, game-time decision, Peyton Pritchard, game-time decision, Jaylen Brown, game-time decision, Jason Tatum, game-time decision, and Drew Holiday, game-time decision. So that's 4 starters, very questionable here in this game. And I believe that they're on the front end of a back-to-back here going up against Portland as well. They face the Philadelphia 76ers next. All right, so this is their first meeting this season between these two teams. With the Boston Celtics at home, it has become a major question mark for them covering spreads. All right, they're one of the bottom teams in the league at home covering spreads. So far this season, they are currently 12-18. That's a 40% rate here at covering spreads. They are the 5th worst team at home covering spreads. So I definitely like the Celtics to win this game. Obviously, that's no value. The best play in this spot here is going to be the Portland Trailblazers +10.5. This team here in the Trailblazers have been phenomenal, especially on the road, and they're top 5 in the league on the road covering spread. They're 18-13 AATS, and that's a 58% hit rate. All right, so this Portland Trailblazers team, especially lately, the past month and a half, they've been playing phenomenal basketball, very inspired. I expect them, this young team here, to bring it to the Boston Celtics here and make it a little bit of a struggle. But ultimately, Celtics win. Portland Trailblazers definitely keep this close at +10.5. For the over-under of 225.5. That is a pretty solidified total. I like the over in this game. If I expect a back-and-forth matchup, closely contested as well, I like the over 225.5 on this. In the Spectrum Center here, we have the Charlotte Hornets 14-46 going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves 33-29. Looking at the odds for this one here, Timberwolves are road favorites, but this is a second game of a back-to-back, so you always got to remember that there. They're minus 350 on the money line with the comeback of the Hornets at a plus 280, point spread at an 8.5, total points at 221.5. Looking at the injury report here for the Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert is going to be out, and then Charlotte Hornets, Yusuf Nurkic is a game-time decision. Both of these teams here are going in a little bit of, not a little bit, very much opposite directions here. Minnesota winning 3 out of their last 5. Hornets have been on a 6-game losing streak. Let's see if I can confirm that for you. It's a 7-game losing streak here. They're trying to end that losing streak that's going on for about 2.5 weeks here. And this is a spot that they can do it, all right? They can do it. If we're looking at ATS non-conference matchups here, Minnesota has struggled. They're 6-12 against the spread in non-conference games. Talk about this is a second game of a back-to-back here. They just faced Philly, and now they got to travel over to Charlotte here. And in this matchup, they have really struggled against this Charlotte Hornets team. They're 26-7 against the Timberwolves in all time. So they really had major problems against this Charlotte Hornets team. I'm already looking at the point spread in this game, so I'm going to be leaning towards the Hornets. Hornets have been very good at covering spreads as well. We're going with their ATS at home has been really, really good this year. Actually shocking because you wouldn't expect that, how bad this team is. Charlotte Hornets at home ATS. They're slightly above 500. Where are we at? Oh, over under. That's over under. At home ATS. All right, I got it. At home ATS, they're 16-14, so they're a 53% hit rate here. So this is a positive spot here. You got the all-time narrative as well. They really, really handle the Timberwolves very well. I love the plus 8.5 on the total point spread. For the total in this one, second game of back-to-back, we probably see some tired legs here. In a way, the Hornets are going to have to win this game. It's going to have to be slow down the tempo. You can't get in a fast-paced game here with the Timberwolves. It's going to be a big problem because they can definitely outscore you. I like the under 221.5. It went under in the first game. I like the under in this one as well. So plus 8.5 and then the under 221.5. In Rocket Arena here, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers 50-10 going up against the Miami Heat 29-31. If we're looking at the odds for this game here, Cleveland Cavaliers home favorites minus 550 on the money line with the comeback of the Heat at a plus 400. Point spread at a 10.5. Total points at 227.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 92% of the bets, 90% of the money all over Cleveland. For the point spread, 54% of the bets and money towards Cleveland here. It's more split down the middle with the point spread. And for the total points, 85% of the bets, 87% of the money here towards the over 227.5. If we're looking at the injury report here for both of these teams, Miami is dealing with a lot of issues here. Nikola Jovic is out. Kelly Ware, their new center, is out. Davion Mitchell's now a game time decision, who's been their best defender. Andrew Wiggins is out. Jaime Jaquez is out. There's major issues here. This is a very good spot here for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers only dealing with Evan Mobley out, and they're currently on a winning streak of 11 games. So they're going for 12 games in a row here in this spot. And this is the second game of a back-to-back as well. Now, while I go on with that, the back-to-back and no rest for the Cleveland Cavaliers, they've been fine in this situation. They're 7-5 on the second game of a back-to-back. If we're looking at against the spread numbers, Miami is the third worst team here in the league, ATS away. All right, they're 11-20. That's a 35% hit rate. Cleveland, on the other hand, at home, phenomenal at home against the spread, 20-11. That's a 64% hit rate here. So I really like Cleveland to lay down the hammer. I always, when it comes to this 10.5 and 11, I always take the 9.5. I've seen it too many times when teams just win by 10 and you need an 11 or a 12. We're going to take the 9.5. Love the Cavaliers minus 9.5. And for the total, I'm going to go towards the over 227.5. I see this very similarly as the last meeting in January, where Cleveland picked up a big number. cover the spread, and the Miami gets enough points and on their end to make this go over. But I definitely see Cleveland put up a big number in this one. I like their team total over as well. In FISA Forum here, we have the Milwaukee Bucks 35-25 going up against the Dallas Mavericks 32-30. This is a team here in the Mavericks that are absolutely decimated here. Looking at the odds, Bucks minus 450 on the money line with the comeback of the Mavericks at a plus 340. Point spread at a 9.5. Total points at 225.5. Public bet percentage here, 94% of the bets, 97% of the money all over Milwaukee. For the point spread, 90% of the bets, 93% of the money all over Milwaukee to cover. And for the total points, 87% of the bets and 83% of the money towards the over 225.5. Looking at the injury report here, as we know, Kyrie Irving is out for the year. Anthony Davis is out for a while. Jaden Hardy's out for now. PJ Washington is out. Dante Exum is out. And Caleb Martin is game time decision. Derek Lively is out as well. So this team is absolutely decimated from top to bottom, and they got scraps all next to Klay Thompson here. Milwaukee Bucks, on the other hand, Pat Connaughton is out and Bobby Portis is out. And this is the second game of a back-to-back for the Milwaukee Bucks. But they are in a very good form right now. The last 5 games, winning 4 out of the last 5, beating Miami, beating Denver, beating Dallas already before the injuries, and then beating the Atlanta Hawks 127-121. Now they face the Dallas Mavericks yet again here, and technically Milwaukee has not been good this year off of no rest. They've been 2-8-1 against the spread. That's a 20% hit rate, but this is a Mavericks team here that is literally decimated. I don't know how they're going to put points together here. They will struggle. I like the team total under for the Dallas Mavericks. I love the team total over for the Milwaukee Bucks as well. If you want to avoid the actual total points, I will play it that way. But ultimately, we're taking the point spread. Give me Bucks minus 9.5 on this one. In Ball Arena here, Denver Nuggets 39-22 going up against the Sacramento Kings 32-28. Looking at the current odds for this one here, Nuggets minus 250 on the money line with the comeback of the Kings at a plus 200. Point spread at a 5.5. Total points at 235.5. Public bet percentage here, 87% of the bets, 92% of the money all over Denver. For the point spread, 62% of the bets, 53% of the money all over Denver to cover. And for the total points, 81% of the bets and money towards the over 235.5. Looking at the injury report here for these two teams, starting off with the Sacramento Kings, we have Malik Monk, that's a game time decision, and Domantas Sabonis is going to be out for a while until March 10th. Denver Nuggets, they're dealing with some issues here. Zeke Naji is a game time decision. Peyton Watson is a game time decision. Vlatko Cancer is a game time decision. Aaron Gordon is a game time decision, and Nikola Jokic is a game time decision. All right. So the Sacramento Kings here, despite the fact that Sabonis has been out, they've been getting on a roll, winning 4 in a row, beating Charlotte, beating Utah. Houston was a really good win and blowing out the Dallas Mavericks, handling business. That's all positive signs there. Nuggets have been very up and down and underwhelming because of the lack of defense here. And that continues to put this team here in the Denver Nuggets in very close games, okay? Luckily, most of the time they're pulling out these wins, but in this series here against the Sacramento Kings, they've already faced them twice. Both of these games under 10 points in disparity here, and back-to-back losses the Kings have had against the Denver Nuggets. This is the third matchup here, so we got double revenge narrative as well. And I'm going to be leaning towards the points for the Sacramento Kings. If we're looking at as away underdogs, the Kings are top 10 in the league, 8-5 against the spread as underdogs. That's a 61% hit rate there. So I like the Kings with the point spread at plus 5.5. Given this a very close game here, they tend to play them close, and it tends to be a high-scoring environment as well. So for the secondary play, give me the over of 235.5. Last but not least here, Intuit Dome, LA Clippers 32-28, going against the Detroit Pistons 35-27. Looking at the current odds for this game here, Pistons are road favorites, minus 145 on the money line with a comeback of the Clippers at a plus 118. Point spread at a 2.5. total points at 219.5. Public bet percentage here, we have 58% of the bets and 81% of the money all over Detroit. For the point spread, 64% of the bets and 51% of the money on the cover of the Pistons here. So sharps coming in more on the side of the Clippers on that point spread, but for the money line, they're heavily on the Detroit Pistons on that end. For the total points here, 88% of the bets, 91% of the money towards the over 219.5. Looking at the injury report here for these two teams. Starting off with the Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Stewart is a game time decision. Tobias Harris will be out. Ron Harper Jr. is out. Tolu Smith is out, and Jaden Ivey is out as well. For the LA Clippers, Norman Powell is out. Ben Simmons is out, and Derek Jones is out of this game here. All right, these two teams, they've already played earlier in the season. That was a 9-point win in Detroit. This is the second time they're facing here all the way in March in this one here. And if we're looking at against the spread numbers, the Clippers are in the second game of a back-to-back. They're facing the Phoenix Suns right now, and they don't have a really good record at all off of no rest. Obviously, there's an older team here. They're 4-8 against the spread with no rest. The Detroit Pistons in non-conference games here, since they're facing the Western Conference in this one, they have been phenomenal against Western Conference teams. 11-6. That's a 64% hit rate. I really like the Pistons in this spot here to keep things going. Well, because they've been winning 4 out of the last 5 games. They beat Utah, beat Brooklyn, Boston, the Clippers earlier in February. And you have the Clippers are going in the opposite direction. They've struggled, losing back-to-back games to LA, losing to Detroit, losing to Indiana. This team still hasn't found their identity yet. Still have a ton of injuries. Still waiting for Kawhi to be fully, completely healthy here. And the Pistons are on a roll, and they're really having a phenomenal season that they haven't had in decades here. So give me the Detroit Pistons on the money line. I think they even cover the spread, but let's just play it safe. Give me the Pistons on the money line for the total of 219.5. We're going to be going with, let's see the Clippers with no rest. Oh, it's bad. I figured that. I'm going to be leaning towards the under in this total of 219.5. I think we have some sluggish legs here for the Clippers on the second game of back-to-back. I expect this Pistons team to cover this number as well. And I like how this Pistons defense has been playing as well. As you look, they've held they held Boston to 97, Clippers to 97 before, Utah 106, Brooklyn 94. These are very good defensive numbers, and that's what they've been winning with as well. So give me the Pistons money line. Pistons cover in the under 219.5. Just like that under went in that first matchup, I like the under in this one. That's going to be our selections for the Wednesday slate. Let me know in that comment section down below if you agree or disagree. We can definitely debate about that down there. If you want to sign up for the Patreon and get connected with this community, click on that link in the description section. You're getting full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. This is your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.